All right, let's go ahead and do the Roman numerals, but in Python, because I believe I did it in JavaScript before. And yeah. So we'll solve this challenge just with like this basic output, and then I'll ask a different question, and we'll like, instead of just having an input of Roman numerals or the two Roman, instead of just inputting a number that outputs the Roman numeral equivalent, I'll input a number and spit out something a little bit differently, maybe. But we'll get to that once we actually solve the original one. So this two Roman, let's actually, again, we're going to cover unit testing. So let's cover some unit tests in Python. So can you all see this, or should I zoom in a little bit more? There we go.
Oh, it's fine.
It's good. All right. So if we want to do unit testing first, we can convert these over to unit tests in Python, and maybe we can cover some other ones as well. So maybe two Roman, I don't know what 9444 is. I think it's like, I don't know, I have to figure that out. It's like, is it CM? Well, I'm looking down here, XL IV or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'll write the code to figure out what that actually should be. Does that look right? Can anybody? 900
looks right.
44. Cool. All right. So for this one, I'm going to write a function that takes in a number and returns the Roman numeral equivalent of that. So first thing first, let's write some unit tests. I'm going to convert these 4 into unit tests. I'll also actually return. I'll try to use the assert true and assert false one as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is import the unit test library. And for the unit test library, I need to create classes to run my unit tests. And if I don't know, I don't remember off the top of my head what the unit test syntax should look like. So, and that's okay. I'm a new developer. I just know that the unit test library is what I'm going to be using to write some unit tests. So I'm going to do Python unit test just to read the documentation and to get like just kind of like a use case of what this looks like. All right, so I import unit test at the top. I'm just going to copy this over to here, just as to reference. And I'm going to move this up to the very top just so, because I'm going to convert these individual ones to unit tests. So first things first, I'm going to name this class. So like test Roman numeral method, whatever. I imported the unit test case class as my parent class. So my first test, I'm just going to comment these out. So I can write my own def test. So each unit test needs to begin with the word test. Well, so test, what was that first? 2 Roman 1, 2 Roman 1, self. I can say, what is it? Self dot assert almost equals. I'll go down. Is it equals or equal? So 2 Roman 1 to equal I. And I can also, what the hell just happened? Oop. Do a second one. 2 Roman 3. 3 equals I. 2 Roman 4. What was it? I4. 2 Roman 944. 944. And here I can say, so if I wanted to use assert true, I can do a couple of things. I don't know, def test Roman characters. So I'm just going to test to see if my output contains all the different types of Roman characters in here. I don't know how I should do that. I'm trying to think. Like contains, have an array of all the top Roman characters in there. Or I can just say, hey, I can test if my output is all upper, just like this one is doing. So I can do that. So self, and I can do self.assert true to Roman. I can do 944. That is upper, which returns a Boolean value. So that should return something that is all uppercase. So the assert true, whatever this returns should be a true value. So if I run that, Python, cd Python Roman numerals spec. What happened? So Roman numeral line 3, right here. Write your code here. Set.
In the main file, you need that method to pass.
Yeah, I need that pass right there. All right, 5 failures. So none, 1 error, none does not equal that. I'm just looking through all of them. So yeah, it returns none now because it just passes. All right, so now I can actually write my code. So what I'm going to want to do is, let's see, so I need to store. All right, so if like the input is 944, so like I like input 944, the output should be this value. So I need to store all the different values of the Roman numerals. Does anybody have a recommended data structure I can store that in, and like the equivalent of that value?
A dictionary.
Just store it as a string?
So when you say store it as a string, what are you envisioning?
Oh, so like, I don't know. You could call it Roman and equals, and then just quotation marks with no space in it. Then that would set an empty string.
So this will, what is this supposed to be? Like, what's the like, what is Roman eventually going to be?
So that will be the output of
okay,
whatever.
Gotcha, understood. So this will be the output, So if that's the output, so I'm just gonna call it, yeah, Roman answer. And then I heard somebody store like, so if I wanted to find 900,
Dictionary.
so a dictionary. So I'm gonna say Arabic I'll do 2 Roman. And this is where I can store like all the Roman numerals and the actual the Arabic values. So like M equals 1,000. What is it? CM equals 900. My dog's crying. Quit crying over there. Oh, excuse you. Hi, Bubba. What is 500? So I can actually, is it deep? D 500. I guess 400 would be CD. 400. 100 would be C. 90 would be, what is it? XC, because X is 10. And then what is L from the Super Bowl?
50.
50. And then is it XL? It's 40. And then is it just X?
Yes.
It's 10. It's 5. Oh, do I need 9?
IX for 9.
IX 9, 5, IV.
4.
Could have just probably found something and just copied and pasted over here. And I is 1. Yep, that's might not work. All right, so I've got the Roman to Arabic or Arabic to Roman equivalent. Now I'm going to need to, so if I get an input like 944, what I'm going to do is iterate through this dictionary and see if I'm essentially looking for the very first number that is less than 944. So if it goes to 1,000, no, 1,000 is greater than 944. Goes to 900, 900 is, or 944 is greater than 900. So I'm going to need at least one of the CMs thing. So once I get this, I'm going to add or essentially figure out how many of these CMs I'm going to need. And I can do that. How can I do that? So I can do 900 divided by 944, or I'm sorry, 944 divided by 900, and that gives me 1.44. I round down, and that gives me how many times how many of these CMs I'm going to need, which is 1. And then I'm going to subtract 900 from 944. So now I only get 44. So then I keep on going down until I find the next value that is less than 44, which is 40, which is this XL. And then I do the same thing, 44 divided by 40, 1.4, round down. That's how many times this XL is repeated. So it's only once, and then I just keep doing that. If it was like 103, where I'm going to need 3 of these, 900 to get CM goes, then I subtract 900 from 903. So there's only 3 left. It loops down all the way down to here. Is 1 less than 3? Yes, it is. 3 divided by 1 is 3. Therefore, I'm going to need 3 of these I's. So it'd be CM I. So if I wanted to do that, I could say for Roman and Arabic to Roman. Let's see. I'm going to grab the Arabic value, which is Arabic to Roman. So that's the actual value. I'm going to say, hey, if number is greater than or equal to the Arabic number, let's see. So if the number is greater than or equal to, what would I say? I need to figure out how many times this value goes in there. So I could say like count, or like num of repeat, or quantity equals num round down Arabic. So that's the quantity. And then I can do, is it answer? No, hold on. Roman answer plus equals the Roman value. How do I do? Does anybody know how I can like repeat? Is it just like times quantity?
Times, yeah.
Okay. All right. So once I get that Roman answer, then I can take num minus equals the Roman, nope. So the Arabic times the quantity, because that subtracts it from the number. And I think is that it? Because then it keeps going down the list. Well, return Roman answer. Let's see if this actually works. So I think, all right. So if I actually just run my unit tests, it should tell me. I did something here. Looks like what? All right. All right, so let's actually run these unit tests. If I did everything right, Roman CD into Python Roman numerals spec. All right, wow, work. Huh. All right. Any questions on how I solved that one? Nope. All right. Now let's add a little spin on this. So instead of having it just return the Roman, the Roman numeral equivalent, let's add, say, like in plain English, how many M's, CM's, D's, CD's, C's, XC's, L's, etc. So for example, if print to Roman 3, if I were to run that, Python Roman numerals spec, I get 3 I's. And that's 3 of these specific I's. So I want this output instead of just being I want it to say there are 3 I Roman numerals. So this is what I actually want the output to be, a string that says there are 3 I Roman numerals. And for example, if it was 928, it should be there are 1 CM Roman numeral, or there is, I'll just say, yeah. So like this is just syntax. There is 1 CM Roman numeral, comma, 2 X Roman numerals, plural, comma, and, whoop, nope. 2 Roman numerals, 1 V Roman numeral, so it's singular, and 3 I Roman numerals. So that's what I want the output to be. So in plain English, there's 1 CM Roman numeral, 2 X Roman numerals, 1 V Roman numeral, and 3 I Roman numerals. So if this is now the expectation, now this is what our expected output should be. We're going to have to keep track of some stuff now. And notice how it starts at the very top, CM, X, and it goes down from greatest Roman numeral down to the smallest Roman numeral. So is there a way we can solve this with this method? So what do you think we need?
I think what I would do is I would initialize a variable with another empty string.
Okay, what would be the reasoning behind that?
Well, in the for loop, I'm gonna add on to that string each time that it adds something to the Roman. It will add a statement to that string. For instance, start the string with there is or there are, whatever syntax you want.
Like a response string?
Right. And then in your for loop, each time at the end where it calculates the Roman thing, you could create a string there to append to the response string that says there are quantity variable, and then the Roman value from the dictionary, comma.
Okay, so like essentially each time I go loop through this, so if this is the case, quantity, then I can say like response somewhere here, string,
Plus equals.
it'd be quantity, right? Or I'd have to do an F string. I'm just seeing if this works. I actually have no idea if this is going to work.
Right, that's what I was thinking, quantity as a variable. Right.
And then what was it?
So the
Roman. Yep. Key. And then you said Roman.
Yep, numerals, comma, space.
Like this.
That looks right to me right now.
Okay.
What it does once you run it, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either, actually. Let's run it. Let's just see what that answer is. So I'm just gonna return response string. I can see where we're gonna have some issues with it's like the and at the very end. the comma, like, so we don't actually have a period yet. So we have to account for when the last value occurs. And also plural, I guess here. And this part, the plural, I think is a relatively easy fix.
As far as the period, outside the for loop, we could replace the last comma with a period. That would take care of that. We still don't have the final and.
Yeah, the issue is that with strings, you can't, strings are immutable. So you'd have to create a brand new string. So you can't just like replace a value within a string.
Right,
You'd
we'd have to
Yeah.
create a slice of the string plus the period.
I just want to see if we can even get like kind of close just with this, because if we can, then we're almost there. We might want to do some refactoring, and there might be a little more easily readable, because this function is doing a lot right now, and we might want to break this function into some other and multiple functions, because we want single responsibility of code, because this function might be getting a little bit too big. But I just want to see if this works. Why not? Because if we already kind of are halfway there, we might be able to make it a little bit. Roman numerals. There are 3 I Roman numerals, so we're almost there. I can add a space there. There are 3 I Roman numerals. All right, so we're kind of almost there. Let's actually try the this part. Let's see if this one works. So there's 1 CM Roman numerals, so that should be singular, which we can fix. There isn't a space here. 2 X Roman numerals, so that works. 1 I Roman numerals, 3 1 Roman numerals. So we're actually like are almost there. And here, I guess we can add, if we want to have quotes around each Roman numeral, I can add a space here, but again, that will just add a space at the end of that.
Yeah, a space in front of the quantity.
Okay, cool. So we're almost there. So with this part, so we're able to get the quantity and the Roman numeral that's going to exist within our output string. Does anybody have any other ideas how we can optimize this? Not even optimize it, but just make it a little maybe easier to read or something. But first, yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking, as you append to the string in the old solution, store that Roman and the value and store that in a dictionary as a key value pair. And then you can loop through there, build your string, and you'll know what the last one is. So you can print with the and the period.
Oh, okay. Is there a way to determine the last value in a dictionary?
You just do I mean, at that point, you could say, you know, if this is the last element in the dictionary, then print this string. Otherwise, print an appending string.
How do you test whether or not something's the last value in the dictionary?
Length function.
Yeah, just as I would just say, like, as you loop through it, if you have the index, if the index is equal to the length, then it's the last iteration through.
So we're talking about
But that-
dictionaries. So like there isn't an index for dictionaries. There shouldn't be. Yeah. Oh,
Right, I think he's onto something there, but instead of a dictionary, I think a list would be better.
all right.
Do the same thing.
Oh, I guess there is. Is it 13? Huh. Interesting. But do dictionaries hold, like, are we guaranteed to get the same index when we add keys to a dictionary?
No, because dictionaries aren't ordered.
Yep. There you go. Now it might work in Python, but it might not work in other languages. But yeah, did someone say a list?
Yeah, I think he's got the right idea. I just think a list would do what we need to do.
So yeah, so I'm going to do a quantity list here. And I'm just going to call it quantity list. So this is going to be a list of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna append. What I'm gonna do. So what are we pushing into this list? It's because we're not using a string anymore.
I'd say
Pushing
push
in the
another
Roman
list that
value.
has Roman and quantity,
Okay, so
and they correspond.
the first value is the Roman and the second value is the quantity.
Yep.
All right, let's just check it out. Let's see what the output of that looks like. Oh, I'm an idiot. So we want to do quantity list dot append, something like that. If we run that, cool. So we have the value or the Roman and the quantity of those values. So if we have a list of lists where each index represents the Roman and the quantity, and that's what we're returning, you can use that. Again, single responsibility of code. Let's write another function, def like build response string that takes in the quantity list. Could be the quantity list array or whatever. Just call it quantity list, just keep things similar. And in here, we can loop through that quantity list for, what should we call this? This value. We wanted to call it something to describe it. For Roman amount in quantity list, we can have a string. So like response string. There are.
I think if you wanted to work with any possibility, we would need to use, we'd need to determine the length of the list. Because if there's only one element in the list, it's going to be different.
Yep. So maybe instead of enumerate, let's see. So yeah, maybe we can do. So we need the length of, because if it's only one, and those could be like edge cases. So we can be like, hey, if quantity list length equals 1, then just return something. But so trying to think like range. I'm just coming up with this like in range, length of the quantity list. Or we can again use that enumerate if we want. I just want to try to kind of get there, and then so it'd be like response string plus equals f string quantity. Whoop. It would be quantity list at index 0. That's the that would be the Roman. That'd be, hold on a second. Whoop, have that reversed. And then Roman numerals. And then again, for plural, we can use a ternary operator. Does anybody know what a ternary operator is, what it looks like in Python? So I can say like, hey, if the quantity is greater than 1, so I could say like S, whoop, if then 1, else, something like that. Return, and I know this is not going to be the correct answer, but I just want to see if we can like somewhat get there. All right. So I don't want to return that. I'm going to return build response string. See if this works. All right, so I have the plurals working. Three Roman, but I don't have the end of that working. So 3i Roman numerals. I just need to have and. So that's where the length comes in. So I need to keep track of the length. Is that right?
Right, if for the for loop you got, you would go to the next to last element, and then the last element would get a different, would append something different to the list or to the string.
Yep. So like if index equals length of quantity. Now what I do? Oop. It would just be like, and something like that. Let's see if that works. All right, there's one CM Roman numeral, so I can also add the quotes behind those. Run that again. 2x Roman numerals, 1v Roman numeral, and 3i Roman numerals. So, all right, let's check this first one. Let's just to see. There are and I3 Roman numerals. That does not sound right. So again, this could be an edge case. We can just say like, hey, if
We just add in one more if statement. If the starting length is
equal
one.
to the length, yep. So I can just say like, if length equals 1.
then you'll need to check for the quantity. If the quantity is also 1, it will be there is, and if the quantity is greater than 1, there are.
Right. So yeah, we can. So I don't even need this there, and then and so there are. Well, yeah, that I guess here I can do like, so if there's multiple quantities, there is, right? Of the first one.
Yeah, you would only need that in the first one, because we're just using commas after that.
Right. But this one index was it 1 0 so there. Uh-oh.
It'll need to be index 0 because there's only one item.
Oh, yeah, you are right. Uh-oh, what happened? Where
One more right below it.
Oh, thank
Bottom
you.
line.
Oh,
So I think that if
it can probably go inside of this, right? And depending whether it's like is or are, I can always do like are if quantity is greater than 1, else all right. Let's clear that. All right. I think that's like a decent working solution, just coming up with it on the spot. Obviously there's probably ways we can make this a little bit easier. You can
You've
store it
also
in
got multiple R's on the second solution for 928.
there are one R. Oh, yep. Yeah, so it'd be like if index. So yeah, here you either figure out like, hey, if index equals 1, or if IDX equals 0, else, comma. I'm just messing with. Oh, and let's see. So yeah, we'd have to figure out, and so this is kind of like what you have to kind of account for, is all these different little edge cases with the output string. And you can even do like a nested if statement or create your own method. It doesn't have to be a nested ternary operator. You can create a separate variable that says like, hey, what should that plural string be? All right. And if we wanted to write unit tests for this, if we can rewrite these, it'd be like there is one the Roman numeral period. I'm going to do double quotes. I'm just going to comment out these ones right for now. If I run Python, it should work. Oh no, what happened? Let's see what the output was. Oh, whoops. There we go. So yeah, that one ran it and it passed it. And you can break these up into as many methods as you want. Again, single responsibility code. You can also run like, hey, what if the quantity list output, like what if it's 0, or like what if the input was not a number? What if it was a string or something like that? Yeah. Any questions on that? Let's continue to create, like build off of this. Let's convert this entire thing into a class. So if I wanted to create these and have these be like class methods or instance methods. So if I want to create a class called Roman like convert to Roman, I can def dunder init, and this dunder init, instead of passing this number directly into the to Roman function, I can actually make these into instance methods. I want to pass that number into there. And I can say self dot input or self dot num equals num. I can even move this Arabic to Roman variable. I can even make this a class variable. And the self number, I don't need a pass in number anymore to this to Roman because I already have access to this self.num. So I'm getting some errors. So here, this to Arabic to Roman can be called, it's a class variable. So I can say like convert to Roman. Like so. And then this build response string, needs to be an instance method. In order to call this instance method, I need the self keyword. Self is not defined. Oh, because I need to convert that to self. And this num is no longer just a local variable. It is an instance variable. So I can put the self keyword in front of that. And now, if I wanted to create a solve function, I can say def solve or convert, which just returns. It could do a couple of things. The way I have it, I can literally just return this to Roman function, self.toRoman, which then returns the self.build response string, which then returns the actual response string. So I can self dot was it to Roman like so. And if I wanted to instantiate that class variable, I can print or so this takes in the number. So like instance variable equals Roman, what is it? Convert to Roman. And I pass in 3 or 928. And then in order to solve that, I can print the instance variable dot convert. Now, if I call that, I should still get everything should still work. There are 1 CM Roman numeral. I guess that should be there is, but y'all can figure that out. 2 X Roman numerals, 1 V Roman numeral, and 3 I Roman numerals. If I wanted to test this, I'd have to import convert to Roman. And I can even just do convert to Roman dot convert. And that should also work. It's just a quick review of classes as well. All right, any questions on anything we did with the Roman numerals? You can store any of this stuff in any kind of data structure you want, arrays, dictionaries, whatever works for you. This is just the way I did it with the help of a couple of y'all. But you can definitely do it another way if you'd like as well.